Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 Today.
Good morning. It's Tuesday. You're here for another edition of NBC 16 Today. Lily, how are you this morning?
I'm great, but I have to argue that you're probably doing better because you got to meet a furry friend this morning.
Yeah, we'll have our pet of the week later in the show, and our furry friend is a delight this morning.
Emphasis on furry friend.
Oh,
today.
yes, and the name Harry, the dog furry, all of it.
He's just
there's
so
a joke
cute.
somewhere in there, but it's not very funny. And all of this right before this Friday. We'll be down there at Green Hill
Yes.
ourselves doing Clear the Shelter. So it's a great week to get yourself on green-hill.org, learn something about all the wonderful pets in our community. But
I wish I could take them all.
Oh, always could, because with the weather like this, it would be a great day to W-A-L-K the D-O-J. D-O-J wouldn't quite work. Yeah, I guess you can walk the Department of Justice if you choose, but you also can do it with your dog. Temperatures this morning much cooler than what you're seeing across the region yesterday. Honestly, even a chance for a light jacket this morning as you get started, because we have temperatures down into the mid and upper 40s across parts of the region. Now, some spots holding on to temps slightly warmer than that, but on average, much cooler today than what we saw yesterday to start the day. Now, the temperatures, they aren't going to last very long because the skies have cleared out. So the low pressure system that was in the area yesterday, allowing temperatures to stay down a little bit with some cloud coverage, is not going to be the case today. We will see temperatures start to climb up just a little bit, and we're also going to see a chance at some moisture later in the week. So once the next round of this low pressure system comes, we're talking tomorrow into Thursday, you're going to see a chance at some light rainfall. Now, it's going to be welcome news for certain spots across the northern portion of our region, as air quality is starting to get a little bit questionable. Nothing overwhelming, but still, that rain will be a chance to scrub the skies and give us a fresh restart on that out there across the region. Now, this is what I'm talking about as far as today is concerned. The clouds will break up for the most part. We'll have partly cloudy conditions instead of the widespread clouds we saw yesterday in the earlier parts of the day. That will allow for temperatures to climb to the low 80s in the afternoon hours. But let's head out to the roadways, or the skyways, with our live shot buddy. He's out at the Eugene Airport this morning, giving us our first look at, well, air traffic this morning. And he says all flights are on time with no cancellations. And on the way to the Eugene Airport, he says that he saw clear roads and no vehicle accidents to report or delays slowing you down. So as he continues to watch United taxi across the runway this morning, he's saying that our air traffic, our road traffic, all of the traffic in Western Oregon is giving us a thumbs up feedback so far today as things look A-OK on those roadways of Western Oregon. LSB, you get some cool video of that plane taking off, and then you stay safe out there, buddy. Thank you very much.
Several areas throughout the state are in a drought emergency this morning, including Douglas County. That announcement coming from Governor Tina Kotek. The U.S. Drought Monitor indicates Douglas County has been experiencing severe drought conditions since July 15th, with below average precipitation, high temperatures, low soil moisture, and below average stream flow for this time of year. The declaration allows for a number of resources to be used to help with affected counties and for streamlined review periods.
Drought conditions continue to heighten the risk of wildfires, and that was a problem on Monday throughout our viewing area. A fire that started in a grass field near the Oregon Horse Center in Eugene off of Prairie Road spread to some wood pallets, which left dozens of horses and their handlers in a panicked rescue to try to keep them safe. Nearby workers and owners working together to evacuate the horses to another barn on the property.
It was about 15 minutes of pure panic, because the horses were freaked out and some were running loose, and a lot of the horses didn't know the people that came to handle them, and they were freaked out because the barns were filling with smoke.
Multiple agencies responded to that fire, which is now under control.
And if you're driving on the I-5 near Albany this morning, you may still see some smoke in the area, so use caution on those roadways. This comes after a huge fire yesterday morning north of Albany at Creekside Valley Farms. A hay barn igniting in the middle of the night. Crews were dispatched around 2:45 in the morning. Jefferson Fire District acted quickly and kept the fire from spreading to other vegetation.
So they took a defensive mode right away on arrival. They knew that it would not be able to be extinguished, so we took a defensive mode to make sure that it didn't spread to brush, grass. Fortunately, the field around it has been plowed, so it has taken away that as a hazard as well.
Firefighters say that fire will be burning for several days. The cause of the fire is not known at this time, but the fire marshal is investigating. The time is now 6:05, and in a developing story this morning, day 2 of a high-stakes game of Texas Hold'em.
Democratic lawmakers leaving a special session in Texas in an effort to block a vote on Republican congressional redistricting being pushed by President Trump ahead of next year's midterm elections.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott overnight calling on state troopers to track down and arrest the lawmakers, but more than 50 have left the state outside of the jurisdiction of Texas law enforcement.
Jay Gray is in D.C. with a closer look at the holdout and how governors in blue states are now vowing to join the fight.
Members, a quorum is not present.
Texas Democrats continuing their holdout. Dozens of state lawmakers leaving the House chamber and the state, effectively blocking a vote on a Republican congressional redistricting plan that could create up to 5 new GOP seats and help the party maintain control of the U.S. House in the 2026 midterm elections.
Their attempts to disenfranchise Texans is the tool they're using is a racist, gerrymandered map. And Governor Abbott is doing this in submission to Donald Trump.
Texas Republicans pushing back.
This map was politically based, and that's totally legal, totally allowed, and totally fair.
Governor Greg Abbott threatening to expel the more than 50 absent lawmakers from office while ordering state troopers to find and arrest them.
I will immediately sign the warrants for the civil arrest of the members who have said they will not be here.
Texas may be the spark point, but clearly this showdown is just the start of a national battle for political power.
This is a war. We are at war. And that's why the gloves are off, and I say, bring it on.
Governors in a handful of blue states, including New York, Illinois, and California, already working on potential redistricting plans to offset GOP efforts. Governor Gavin Newsom, a potential presidential candidate, posting on social media, "Buckle up, Donald Trump. California is about to get a whole lot bluer thanks to you." Blue or red, the map to the midterm elections, unclear and contentious, more than a year before voters head to the polls. Now, many of the absent lawmakers say they've packed enough clothes to be gone for 3 weeks. Republicans insisting they aren't stopping the vote, just delaying it. By law, a special session in Texas can only last 30 days, which means the current session must end by August 19th. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Now, you may remember Oregon had its own experience with lawmakers leaving the state to avoid quorum. Republicans have held 8 walkouts since 2019, the most recent in 2023, when 10 GOP state senators sat out 6 weeks of legislative session to combat a series of Democratic bills. Those senators were ultimately barred from running for re-election due to Oregon's passage of Measure 113, which penalizes state lawmakers for 10 or more unexcused absences.
Eugene 4J is set to lose roughly $5.5 million in state funding as a result of lower enrollment rates. With the school year just a little more than a month away, 4J predicts having 500 fewer students than they did last year. The district gets around $10,900 in funding from the state per student. 4J's director of communications says the decrease in enrollment is due to declining birth rates and the price of housing in Eugene.
We're funded in Oregon on a per-student basis, so when you have fewer students, you get less money, and that means over time that you can provide fewer staff and do fewer things for students.
The decrease in enrollment this year will not affect 4J's budget until next school year. The state, which provides the most in funding for local school districts, will not penalize them right away. Despite the expected cut in the funding, the district is making sure every student that walks into their schools this year will get the education and attention they need.